Welcome to 10, the Tech Entrepreneurs Nebraska podcast, brought to you by the Nebraska Tech Collaborative. I'm Shauna Dorsey. I messed that intro up, but anyway,
You're doing
okay.
great.
Shauna Dorsey, Executive Director of the Nebraska Tech Collaborative, powered by Exarban. There we go.
You got all that?
Got there.
All right.
And I'm with my co-host.
Yeah, I'm Brian Poppy. I work at Mutual of Omaha. I lead one of the business units there. This is 10, as Shauna said, a 10-minute podcast designed to fit into your day. There is 10 minutes, that's it. No editing, so you get the live conversation. We're joined today by John Bunting. John, how are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we are very excited that you're here today. One of the few, at least that I'm aware of, one of the few startup studios in Nebraska with Beeso. So you want to tell us about Beeso, what it does, and then maybe how you got into that?
Absolutely. And I'm going to go a little backwards. So I used to live in Las Vegas, co-founded a startup studio there. And then by happenstance, I actually relocated to Omaha, Nebraska. And it was interesting because I looked at the landscape of Omaha and there really wasn't a startup studio in Omaha or even in the Midwest per se. And so that is why I started Beeso Studio here. And what we do is we basically partner with entrepreneurs. We really look for venture scalable tech startups, and we look for, those entrepreneurs can be in Omaha, the Midwest, and also across the United States.
Yeah, that's great. Boy, I've got a whole bunch of questions about the move from Las Vegas to Omaha and
Wait.
Oh, yeah,
Before you jump into that.
Yeah, okay. Here we go.
Because I know it's all good. My question is, what is a startup studio for people who don't know?
There
what that
we
is?
go.
Absolutely.
This is perfect. Good job.
Absolutely. There's a few different models. There's certainly a spectrum like accelerators. But essentially what a startup studio does is it really provides the team that does the work. Accelerators are very programmatic, educational experience, in networking and such. The startup studio is more about doing, more about actually doing the necessity of, the work needed to build a tech company. Okay. That's really what makes them different.
So I'm just a person out there. I'm not even an entrepreneur yet. Yeah. I'm a person out there, and I feel like I've got a great idea. Mm-hmm. What happens from there?
What happens from there? We have a process. I mean, we certainly do take our entrepreneurs through a process to vet them and understand the opportunity. But ultimately, what will happen is we'll partner with that tech startup, and we will help them build their software. We will help them with sales. We'll help them marketing. Also, we help them raise capital through a network of investors that we have. And also, there are some great opportunities in Nebraska to actually get access to grants and such. So we support that activity as well.
Oh, that's super cool. So, come up with the idea, say, here's the mock-up, and then they can come to you to actually help turn it into a reality. Is that kind of how that works?
Yeah. I mean, literally, and we work with startups all stages. It could be, I have an idea, or it could be something that's more seed or pre-seed where they have a product with customers, but they're trying to figure out the next level of growth and try to capture additional revenue.
Yeah, that's cool.
That is. And I know Brian has a lot of questions about background and all of that. And I definitely want to get to that. What do we have? We have so
Tons
much
of time.
So great. Okay. So what's one of your favorite stories out of Beeso Studio?
Probably the one that we're still engaged with and working on. We had a startup founder called us about 3 years ago, and he says, hey, I got this idea. I've talked to many people. They said it wasn't possible. And we formulated a way to take their idea and basically first off do a technology proof of concept. It was very technically challenging. Did that actually during COVID. So it was a wild time, as you know, COVID, everything shut down, and we're in the middle of trying to prove some technology that even with is feasible. And then we literally took that, helped them raise investment money from angel investors and conversations there. And it was fascinating to me talking to the angel investors because they really got our value. They said basically, so you guys are vested, you care about the quality, what it is, and you're the team to build this and carry this company forward. And I'm like, yeah, we mitigate a lot of the normal risks a startup would be exposed to. And today that startup is thriving. They're certainly on a great growth trajectory. They'll probably double in revenue by the end of this year. And they've raised a seed round. I mean, they're really essentially the template for a venture scalable tech startup in terms of their growth trajectory. And they've done that within 3 years.
Can you name them or no?
Yeah, I can. It's Abstract.
Oh, right on.
Yeah. So you can go Google it, Abstract AI. So they do real-time call coaching, and they have a very unique product that nobody on the market has. And we've built it for a fraction of what other unique or similar companies have spent. So
Cool.
because of our expertise.
Yeah, that's super cool. I mean, if there's anything I've learned, like, you don't tell a Midwesterner they can't do something, let alone a Midwesterner in technology, that it's impossible to do. Like, I'll show you. We're going to make that.
Oh, yeah. The Midwest is a great opportunity. I mean, there's so much. You think about the Midwest, specifically Omaha. You have large Fortune 500 companies here. You have great educational institutions with Creighton, UNO, and such. And you just also have the can-do spirit of the Midwest.
Yep.
And I say coupling those together create a great ecosystem in terms of for tech startups and for doing new things and really making a difference.
Right.
Yeah, that's cool. And maybe contrast that with the Las Vegas startup studio. Like, is there some difference in, I don't know, maybe entrepreneurs that come through, or like how companies get built as compared to the two?
Yeah, there is a little bit of difference. I think here it's very focused on B2B SaaS. I mean, you look at all the startups that have had some success, it's B2B SaaS. Investors here like B2B SaaS. In Las Vegas, it was a little bit heading towards, we'll say, more social aspect of things, more a networking component was always part of the startups there. So I think you get different types of startups. Plus, is Las Vegas, so a lot of them have a gravity towards the casino gaming industry as well. So that's sort of the space. I mean, but I think Midwest is, like I said, and to be clear, B2B SaaS is a major, industry. Yeah. So there's lots of things there. Plus, going back to the large corporations that are here, it's a great incubator space to work with a large company to take your B2B SaaS product and introduce it to a brand marquee, a Fortune 500 company.
Right. That's amazing. And, through the NTC, we offer this, and it's an initiative or project. I'm not sure what we want to call it, but it's called Pitch Days. So we do help connect startups to large companies. And to your point, just the access is amazing here. Like, people are more than willing to make introductions and help people connect to who they need to speak with to take things to the next level. Amazing. Yeah. So can you tell us how you decided to move from Vegas to Nebraska? Like, what was that all about?
I will say it this way, is that when I co-founded a startup studio in Las Vegas, we made some mistakes and with our model, with our approach. And ultimately I was the CTO, and it kind of just fizzled out, we'll say. It just, we ran out of funding. Things didn't work out between me and my partners. And I called someone I knew actually here in Omaha, and I said, "Hey, I'm looking for a job." And he's like, "Well, if you want a job, move to Omaha." I'm like, "Okay." So within about 3 days, I packed up and I moved out here, and then dragged my family with me, a couple months later. And I've been here for 6 years now. And it was interesting too, is because that experience I had with a previous startup studio, I kind of formulated how to do it better. The mistakes we made, and then how to improve upon them, and how to make it more of an attractive model for the investors and as well as the founders, and really help them in the way I thought was best. And so far it's proving to be beneficial. I mean, right now we have 18 startups in our portfolio spread across the United States.
Man, that's a pretty good portfolio of 18 companies. So tell me, if you could change like one thing about maybe the Nebraska entrepreneurial ecosystem, what would that be?
I think it's going back to the mindset of there's really two different cultures here. There's a lot of people working IT here. They all work for large scale corporations. And I think they're not familiar, or they're not comfortable with the risk associated with doing a tech startup. So I think that's one of the things where as they see other people succeed with some of the well-known startups here, Workshop is one of the newest ones. I think that's definitely having some success. As they see that, I hope that they're going to say, "Hey, I could do that. I can take that risk, and it's a comfortable risk I have." I would say that being in the Midwest, people are a little bit more sensitive to that risk, but I kind of foresee that happening.
That's awesome.
Love that.
Yeah. Well, good.
We made it. We've got 10 seconds left. John, thanks for joining us today.
Excellent. Well, thank you for having me.
Yeah, this has been 10, your 10-minute Tech Entrepreneurs Nebraska podcast. Thanks for joining us, everyone.
Thanks.